figured I'd record this one now before I go and walk to pick up the kids because, yeah, Char's not feeling good, so I wasn't sure how much time I would have this evening to do this. So I'm going to do it now. And after a couple of calls today, 3 calls in particular, one with somebody that I hadn't connected with in a long time, and he's somebody that I admire as an entrepreneur, as a person, and he is also somebody that runs retreats and masterminds in joint venture worlds, as well as for couples and that type of thing. And then the other person that I talk to is somebody who facilitates nature leadership experiences. So bringing people out into nature to be able to connect the feminine and the masculine energies and to explore and be creative. And that's kind of a brief summary of it. There's much more that I could share on all that, but I'll keep it brief. And then the third call that I had was with somebody that has been in one of the programs that I've had in the past and is now in a program that I'm also in. And she hosts these mindful meetups every single week. And I titled this one, "What Do You Invest In?" Because I actually made a note about that as a topic that I wanted to talk about, but then it also just repeatedly came up in my conversations today. And when I say invest, what I mean is not just money. Naturally, it's money. What do you invest your money in? But also, what do you invest your time in? Where does your energy go? And I would also put another piece on top of that. Is it aligned with the vision of who you are desiring to become and the life you want to create and the impact you want to create and all of that stuff? And this topic came to mind because of my own personal experience with investing of money and time into programs, into experiences, that type of thing. But also as I am reaching out and inviting people into the Extremely Conscious Man inner circle. And as we're redefining what it is and what it means and why it exists and who's it for and what can you extract of value from it and what are you expected to bring of value into it. And it's really interesting having these conversations and then even just reflecting and feeling into this, how much we as humans resist the support of others. And that we find reasons why we can't do something like competition, for example. I spoke about this yesterday. Well, I can't invest my time in that thing because what I'm doing is very similar to that thing, or that person, what they're doing is very similar. So therefore, it wouldn't be a good use of my time because I'm just going to go focus my energy on my thing. And if I stay in my bubble, then I can make more. But that's the wrong way to approach this. There has to be an expansive mindset of being better together and focusing committed effort and actions and energy towards a greater purpose. And what I'm referring to on that is many of the people that I'm inviting into the inner circle are people that, like I talked about yesterday, are people that are doing things that are offering certain things that are very similar to what I'm ultimately putting into the world. So they are creating masterminds and groups and programs and retreats and experiences and that type of thing. And one of the guys that I talked to today, that was one of his responses when I said, I'd love for you to be in the inner circle for a few reasons. One, I want you to bring your gifts and your expertise and your passion for this particular subject into the space because I desire more of it. And two, I can help you. Like I put up the Sing Bowl website, which is the one that I collectively, with my wife, Sharmila, do for our work, right? But it's more than that. It's not just what we do for work. It's what it basically describes how we want to show up in the world, who we choose to spend our time with, and ultimately how we can elevate and amplify the humans and the businesses that they create that are creating true impact in this world. And we have clients, and we have had clients, and we have clients, and we will get new people that we will work with in the future that are up to big things, that have crazy ideas that everybody goes, that's crazy, you can't do that. But they do it. And we support them on that in a variety of different ways, you know, of course, with marketing and sales support and digital marketing and all the things that we do with our earned expertise, but also just with how we show up and we support the humans in their own evolution, knowing that that's ultimately the limiting factor of how far a vision will actually go. So that person actually that I talked to today was referencing Patagonia as an example, the company, and how the owner of that company donated all of his wealth to basically giving back to be able to protect this planet that we live on, so that we don't go extinct. And now that the purpose of this live is not to debate that or to give my opinion on it or anything like that, but that's a pretty grand vision, you know, to say that I'm going to exchange my energy, aka money, and a boatload of it for the purpose of maintaining the existence of humans on this planet. Like, most of us can't even think at that level, let alone operate at that level. And it's proven, because how many other companies or CEOs or founders of companies have done that? Very, very few. I haven't done the research on that, but very, very few. But it's just another example of, like, where do we invest our money? Where do we invest our time? And that person in particular, I know, has some amazing gifts that I can't wait to experience, and then also to bring into the retreat / experience that we have coming up in April. And he's collaborating with other people that are creating experiences for men, retreats in particular, in Costa Rica. And that was one of the first things he said. He's like, you know, full transparency, like, I'm collaborating with somebody else that's doing this retreat in March. And my first thought was, cool. If somebody can't come to ours in April, maybe we can refer them over to you, because at the end of the day, the work that we're doing here is much bigger than just trying to sell tickets to a retreat. It's to be able to expand the consciousness of humans on this planet so that we can be the greatest versions of ourselves, so that we can elevate those around us, so that we can create a more beautiful world, so that we can all, you know, live in this state of bliss, knowing that it's not always perfect, and it's certainly not defined by happiness, because sometimes bliss can be being in the pain and loving the shit out of it, making a choice to do that. And I think it unlocked a little bit for him too, and maybe got him thinking about the fact that he has decades of experience doing what he does as well. And maybe his first thought is like, I don't need help with this. I know what I'm doing. But I keep showing up and I keep leaning in on this, because I'm not saying that this doesn't come up for me too, where I'm like, geez, can I really focus my effort over there? Because then it's kind of pulling at me where I could be putting it over here, and it's kind of competing. But at the same time, my higher self would say competition doesn't exist. If our purpose is genuine, which is to, you know, like the purpose of the inner circle is to create a container where I can create focused, intentional energy towards supporting the people that are in that concentric circle. And my concentric circles look like this, and I believe everybody should. Me at the middle, just like Snoop Dogg says, right? I want to thank me for showing up every day, even when nobody believed in me. I want to thank me for putting in the work. I'm number one. And then the next circle is my family, my wife, my kids, in that order, by the way, just to be clear. Because if I don't take care of me, I can't create the relationship that I want. If I don't have the relationship that I want, we can't be the example for our kids. And then expanding out from there, right? It's like my extended family, my people that I work with, the guys that I will choose to spend my time with intention and commitment in the inner circle, and bring my gifts to, and that will bring theirs, and we will find ways to co-create and amplify our impact, not solo, but as a collective. And then everybody else, the ripple effect. Yeah, so I just question that, and I'm putting that out into the universe right now. Whoever might be watching this live, or watching it on a replay, or watching it on my podcast, or watching it on my YouTube channel, because I'm repurposing all of this, because I know that I get to put this out into the world. I get to deploy my skill sets and my procedures that I built inside of the Amplify Impact machine, which is what I call the standard operating procedures and the workflows and the distribution channels and the team that I built to be able to take authentic, heart-centered content and push it out into the world so that it can get in front of the right people in the right places at the right time. That bottom level of the buyer's journey, or the journey of ascension, whatever you want to call it, that I get to show up here and I get to talk about these things. And I get to be transparent too, because I'm not going to lie. There's still parts of me that every once in a while thinks like, I don't know if that person would be really wanting to be in my inner circle. I'd really like to spend more time with them, but they're kind of doing something that I'm doing. And I see that they're launching a challenge right now, so maybe they're too busy. And then I stop myself and I go, that is not thinking expansively, because I know that I can serve and support that person. I know I can. And I know that they can do the same for me. And the one thing that we've made crystal clear about our inner circle is that it is not created to steal your time. It's created to support you to expand time. 1 + 1 equals infinity. Well, let's go just simpler. Equals 3. But it truly is infinite possibilities. Because when we focus on the right things and we make them non-negotiable and we commit our energy and we let go of the negative energy that's pulling us, all the overwhelm and the to-do lists and all of those other things, and we instead take aligned action and we flow with whatever comes our way, knowing that we have responsibilities, we got to meet commitments and deadlines and that type of thing. But if we don't, we forgive ourselves and we move on. But we commit to being better. This is how I choose to show up. And these are the kind of people that I want to surround myself with. And naturally, when I reach out and I invite people into this, some of them are going to say no. And I don't get to take that personally. It's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of their relationship with time. How do they choose to invest their time? Do they see me as somebody that can serve and support them? Do they see the time that they would put in to build the micro action daily practices that lead to habits, that lead to ways of being, serving that thing that they think they're trying to go and create, which in many cases is a destination or a financial gain or like whatever? Do they believe that their morning routine is something that gets to be non-negotiable because it sets the tone for everything else in their day? This is what I believe because I've experienced it. A year ago, I would have said, you're crazy. I would have got up in the morning and thought, man, I got a lot to do today. I better go straight into my emails and get ahead of this thing. Now, I know better. That's not how this game works. We can't operate with a half full cup. And when I am operating from this place of flow and expansiveness and unlimited possibilities, new things come to me. I unlock opportunities that I couldn't see before because I was blind to it, because I didn't choose to see the infinite possibilities. Instead, I saw the limited mindset. I saw the fear. I saw the competition. I saw the, if they have some, then I have less. Instead of saying, we can both create. There is abundance of everything in this world, including love, which will be another theme for me and is a theme for me going forward for multiple reasons, but I won't talk all about that right now. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I'll keep this one a little bit shorter. It won't be 40 minutes like some of my lives here recently, or even 25 minutes. I'm not even sure how long I've been talking for, maybe 10 minutes or so. But if you have stories that say, I'm so busy, I don't have time, I'm constantly chasing my tail, you have to audit your life. What are you choosing to spend your time on? And I'm talking granular, like when are you going to bed? When are you getting up in the morning? What are you doing when you get up in the morning? How often are you waiting for something else to happen or somebody else to show up before you actually take action on something because you don't trust yourself to make the right decision, to move confidently in a direction that feels right without having to seek the approval of others? Yeah. Where do you invest? The people that will be in our inner circle, they're going to be questioning this and operating how I operate, which is I choose to lean into the uncomfortable. I choose to challenge my beliefs. I choose to recognize that it's almost 3:30 here. In fact, it might be 3:30 and I get to go pick up my kids right now. And I'm thinking about all the things that I got to do, but I'm about to step out into nature in Costa Rica where it's 32 degrees outside and the sun's coming down and it's beautiful. And I got to change this black shirt because it's way too hot to be outside in a black shirt. But man, if I go walk from here down the beach to go and pick up my kids, spend some quality time with them, go grab some ice cream on the way home, and all I'm thinking about is work. Like, how is that serving me living my best life? It's not. Me being present, me being able to slow down and appreciate everything around me. That's the game. That's what everybody's aspiring for, but we see it with blinders. We think, no, as soon as I get this thing done and I attain this thing or I make this much money, then I'll be able to slow down and be happy. There's opportunities all day, every day for you to invest in the things that will create that inner peace that you're looking for. And when you get around people like me and the other people in our inner circle, you start to be called up on that because you will, I will, and you will still have moments where you're like, oh, geez, I don't got time for that. It's like, really? You don't have time for that, eh? Where else are you spending your time? What's more important right now? What should you be doing? And it's an everyday thing. It's not just this moment. It's an everyday thing. We all have choices. Audit your life and be honest with yourself. See ya. Look for this on my podcast and YouTube. Coming soon. In fact, all the previous episodes that I've done, all the lives, are already up on my YouTube channel and on my podcast. And this one will be within 24 hours as well, because as soon as I'm done, my VA goes in and she downloads it. She puts it into an editing tool. She adds my opening intro and my closing outro. She uploads it to the podcast platform and to my YouTube channel. I go into Canva, I create the title because that's my responsibility. And tomorrow, this will be up on all those platforms to be viewable forever because those are platforms, well, at least the podcast one is because I own the file. YouTube is a little different because it's still a social network that they could shut down at any time, so it might disappear. But yeah, this is one of my gifts. And a lot of times people go, I wish I had that. And I say, cool. Get in my inner circle. I'll help you create it. That's where my energy's going. You want my help? You want my gifts? Come in the inner circle. But be prepared to show up with me and operate like this because There's no compromise. We don't have time for anybody that says constantly, oh, I'm too busy, I can't do that, I can't. There's no room for that in our world. We have unlimited amounts of time. Okay. Have a good rest of your day. See ya.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Trevor Turnbull Show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please consider subscribing on my YouTube channel, as well as on your favorite podcast platform. So until next time, remember, today is a beautiful day of opportunity. Trust that you are exactly where you're supposed to be. So be grateful, be curious, and be brave.